So I hadn't posted a video in a while with the Christmas and the New Year break. So I thought I'd do a run over of my little machine. This is my only machine. It is a Sunward SW18UB open cab, as you can see. There are cabbed models. I didn't want a cabbed model. Cabs are a pain in the ass. Now, it's a little bit dirty at the moment. I have a hydraulic leak on my hose, one of my front hoses, as you can see on the bucket there. But for what it is, this machine is great. It's an awesome little machine. It's got about 400 hours on it now, and there's a couple of scratches here and there, and mostly from tree work and rocks. You know, rock work will really beat up your machine pretty well. But I think compared to other diggers of the same size, these are a lot more comfortable to run. I know certainly after 8 hours I can get off this machine and my back is fine. On other machines my back will be screaming, my knees will hurt from vibration all day, and so on and so forth. But I have some different attachments that I can use. Some I've made up. This attachment here is for drilling. A drilling rig was quite expensive, so this one I had the hitch made, and I can just hire from a local hire company the gear, the drilling gear, and that makes life a lot easier on my back pocket. I've had a bit of rain the last few days, so I've got I've got some water happening. Got my trenching bucket, my rock bucket, and my grader box, which is over there, and I had that on a previous video. I also have a larger dirt bucket, which is about a metre, give or take. A bit of a mess around here, but that's my dirt bucket. And when I bought the machine, I also bought a tilt bucket, which is absolutely invaluable. It's a Robur Pros, very good bucket. Is quite quick on the rams, so you can really flick it around if you have to. Cons, those hoses are an absolute pain in my fucking ass. This would be the third set of hoses now. It's not worth getting a joiner put in. It's actually cheaper just to buy another hose. I have looked at rerouting the hoses through the hitch or around the hitch, around the sides, but it's quite difficult on the tilt. When the bucket's tilting back and forth, you obviously need a bit of slack, and that slack will get in the way, gets caught up in here, and either way, I mean, I can understand why they've done them there, but if you get up on any rocks or a wall or something like that, it's just, you know, it chops out the hoses, and I mean, that's just par for the course at the end of the day, which is fine. So it's got a 3-cylinder Perkins, which is really easy to maintain, really economical. Fuel tank is about 17 litres, and I can run, generally depends what I'm doing, but I can run 6 to 7 hours on that. And I mean, if I throttle back just a smidge from full throttle, I can get maybe 8 hours at a push. But I don't really take fuel into consideration, I just burn it. for what the job is and what I'm doing. I maintain, you know, like anything, I maintain it pretty well. You know, I check fluids regularly. I can see my water is getting a little bit low there, so I'll need to top that up. And the radiator, you know, is up in behind here and makes things really difficult. I don't know if you can see in there. So it's got a massive fan. So I've never had any heat issues with this, any overheating issues with this. Now, cons with this machine, or the negatives, sometimes it runs out of power. I mean, you know, it's a 1.8 at the end of the day. You can't expect too much from them, but I mean, I've pulled some big rocks out of the ground. I mean, a metre round, you know, weighing maybe a tonne or more. And I've rolled them out of the ground, and I can push them around pretty well, which is what you'd sort of want to expect from a machine this size. I have tried the same thing with other machines, and they generally won't handle it, or they'll be really struggling to do that. The counterweight is an oversized counterweight, so you know, you can put a bit more weight on the front end, scooping larger buckets, wet sand, stuff like that. I can basically extend a full bucket all the way out, and I won't have any tip issues. On the side, you obviously will have a bit of a tip issue, but that's just down to you know, being careful on the machine, as with any machine. I've got my staff member, he's sleeping on the job again. Hey, get back to work. No? Alright, we'll talk about pay later. Okay. Now, the other sort of cons with this machine is the hydraulic oil. Now, obviously this is your sight glass for that. The hydraulic cylinder is under here. Now, granted, you don't have to get to it too often, but when you do, what a pain in the ass. You have to undo all of these bolts, plus these 6, just to loosen this up, and then you can get down into the hydraulic tank to top it up. I've had, I mean, these are a Chinese machine. I guess they're I guess they're manufactured in bulk, and some things get missed, but with this unit I've chased loose bolts over and over again, all inside. All the linkages in here, they all basically, you know, came loose, and this is all within the first 100 hours. And for a brand new machine, I was quite sort of pissed off a little bit about that. But you know, I mean, you get in there and you tighten them up, and you learn your machine anyway, I guess, doing that. Learn where everything is. Other than that, I think this bracket here, this ram saver, it's a good idea. But with the tilt bucket on, you can smack that up pretty good. You can see that I've dented it with rocks and things like that. I would love to have a thumb on this, but the size of the machine, I just don't warrant it. And you sort of learn to you know, get around not having a thumb. You know, most people do anyway, I guess. I've put a tow ball onto the front blade, as you can see, and that's good because I can move stuff around easily. I can move my trailer around. I've also in tight locations where you can't get a truck to load a truck or a tip truck, and I've also put a tow ball on the back so that I can manipulate the trailer around, you know, from the backside if needed. And I've done that quite a few times. Being a dual wheel trailer though, it's quite hard to move. from the backside, because you don't have a lot of swivel. But you know, in a straight line, or sort of, you know, you can get it around if you need to. Now, that's about it. I mean, like I say, once I've got all the bolts tightened up, you know, it wasn't tracking straight, and I had a few issues here and there and stuff like that. But other than that, I mean, I've been pretty rough on it. I basically get in and do the job of what I need to do. Yeah, I beat my gear up, but I maintain it. I repair it, and you know, I sort of treat the machine. I mean, you know, I work it. It's supposed to be worked. In my mind, you're supposed to work a machine, so you know, get it going. It's like anything. I've added a few things. My phone holder, where I put my phone, that snapped off the other day, so I think I was a bit rough on it. So I need to get another one of those. But I've got that up there, and I've also installed a USB for charging my phone and running sort of anything else that I might need. And that was easy. I just ran a wire down the rocks and down into a relay down below. Other than that, she runs well. The little Perkins is a great little engine. Certainly does the business for me. These spiders. And I give it a birthday every sort of 20 or 30 hours. I sort of clean up all the grease around the place and give it a, you know, touch up with a spray paint here and there, just to keep things like that. You know, we've had some pretty heavy rain the last few days, so everything's looking sort of, the rust kind of takes off pretty quickly. But that's the machine. You know, investment wise, with the trailer, the tilt bucket, and the machine, you know, you basically, you're in the hole for about 45,000, you know, about 40 to 45,000, which, you know, sort of relates to your hourly charge out rates and things like that. And you know, obviously you've got maintenance and fuel on top of that, so it works out quite well. I mean, I just run a small business. I don't normally work too many days if I can help it. The boat certainly doesn't get as much use as it should, but that's down to weather. You know, and there's the boat buried as usual. So that's it. I'll have some jobs coming up soon, so I've got some jobs to do next week, so I'll get some more videos posted up. But thanks for watching, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next round.